Okay. So yeah, gameplay-wise, you're just kind of jumping right in here. As you can see, you do have a flashlight. Typically in the game, it will run out of batteries over time, but you do have endless flashlight mode, like endless battery mode if you hit the select button. I think that's on already.
Okay.
I generally prefer that myself. You can run in this version of Corpse Party. You have to hold the O button to run, but if you run for too long, you'll actually start to lose stamina and you'll become really slow and basically become a sitting duck.
Oh.
There are a lot of obstacles that could get in your way this time. You see like fleshy mounds on the floor.
Right.
When you step on them, sometimes nothing will happen. Sometimes a dark beast will spawn and start chasing you. Sometimes tentacles will come up and you'll have to pound the X button to get them off of you.
Okay.
You got to watch out for cracks in the floor because you might fall through the floorboards and take some damage. Got to watch out for shattered glass. There are trip wires.
Wow. Environmental stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So there's a lot of environmental hazards for sure. If you get chased by Dark Beast, if you have a talisman on hand, you can touch it and it will actually be killed or unkilled or however you want to say it. But you will lose the talisman. So those things are more valuable than gold in this game. The other thing is you can hide from them. If you can manage to outrun them, you'll find cabinets along the way, large cabinets in the hallways.
Here we go.
And if you go inside one of the cabinets, you can actually hide for a little while, and you'll see like a pulsating light. Yeah, that blue light means that there is something around, but it's far away.
Okay.
It can get green, yellow, or red if it's right next to you. If whatever's chasing you sees you get in the cabinet, it might actually pull you out too. So you got to be really careful how far away they are before you get in.
So can you tell me a little bit about the story?
Sure. You may or may not know, I don't know how much you know about Corpse Party, but we released 2 games previously on PSP, Corpse Party and Corpse Party Book of Shadows. This game is a direct sequel to Book of Shadows.
Okay,
It begins 2 months after the true ending to Book of Shadows, and you could theoretically play the game without having played Book of Shadows. It does give you like a little quick recap, and it's got an Encyclopedia Obscura with terms and stuff like that. You're going to be a little lost at first, but you'll pick up on it. It will, however, spoil Book of Shadows for you. Like within the first 30 seconds, you'll get the whole ending to Book of Shadows spoiled.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend as well. People should definitely play the other ones.
Definitely play the other ones first, I'd say. And story-wise, I mean, it's hard to go into a lot without spoilers since this is sort of the end of the story. But the basic idea is Ayumi wants to try to revive her dead friends, the people who died in the previous games. And she's tried before and failed, but she wants to try again, and she may have a lead. But it involves going back to Heavenly Host Elementary School once more. She doesn't want to involve her friends in that, so she basically goes alone. But of course her friends find out and they follow her there and they get trapped again and things leak out into the real world and there's like multiple secret societies at odds with one another and witches and all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Am I playing as her right now or Naomi?
You are currently playing as Ayumi.
Okay.
And you do get full-on parties and there's a bunch of new characters as well. This chapter opens with just Ayumi, but you do pick up Yoshiki during the course of the chapter as well.
So let's see here. Is there a complete removal of the visual novel elements, or are they still intact?
They're definitely intact. Some of the chapters are almost solely visual novel. There's very little interaction. The game also opens with mostly visual novel before it even gets to the first area, which the entirety of Heavenly Host Elementary has been rendered in 3D, and there are new sections as well, like a gymnasium and a bell tower that were not present before, but were sort of added onto it. There are also multiple iterations of Heavenly Host Elementary, and some other sections as well. There's an apartment that you get to explore at one point, a few street corners you get to explore, Ayumi's house. So there's definitely a lot more to the environments than previously.
So, do you know why they went with the decision of going fully 3D instead of 2D again?
I think just to try to bring the series up to date and modernize it a little bit. It's always been on the PSP, but they made the jump to Vita, and I think they wanted to have something to show for it, basically.
Okay. Are there any touchscreen or back panel features?
Absolutely none that I'm aware of.
Okay, yes. Let's see here.
Yeah, this is one of those rare games that just doesn't use the touchscreen. It's all buttons. You can use the right analog stick to control the flashlight separately if you want to.
That's cool.
It's kind of nice, not too useful, but it can be.
So absolutely no weapon still, right? You just run, hide.
The only thing that you have is the talisman, yeah.
I remember this room.
Yep. Yeah, and there's no place that has not been rendered in 3D. They were pretty thorough. They got all Heavenly Host for sure.
Now, does this, not to spoil too much, but does this game touch on the alternate reality aspects where, like, maybe they didn't escape, maybe they did? Like, because I see, like, in the other games, the timeline doesn't seem entirely consistent. It could be, like, multiple threads going on.
The timeline is actually pretty consistent.
Okay,
there is sort of a canon timeline.
Okay, yeah.
It's the one that, like, if you've played Corpse Party Book of Shadows, Chapter 8 is part of the canon timeline, Chapter 7, and I think Chapters 3 and 4 are part of the canon timeline, whereas Chapters 1, 2, 5, and 6 are not.
Okay, so they were more like just like what-if scenarios?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was always wondering, because I know that the in-between game, the comedy one, was another alternate reality or something.
Actually, apparently that's canon.
No.
Yeah,
God,
there are some references to 2U in this game. They're mostly just cameos, so you don't actually have to have played 2U at all. It's just there will be certain things, like there's an item that you get at one point that is a reference to 2U specifically, but that's really all it does, is just be like, oh yeah, I've played that, or I have no idea what that is.
You guys have any plans for that one?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. I know that one's a little risque.
Yeah, that one's just a little bit, like we just couldn't pull it off. We tried to find a way, but we just couldn't quite make it.